today.
Godzilla vs. Monsters. Fight!
Alright, we are doing today episode number 11. We are doing in honor of the new Godzilla movie that's being released. Well, I'm recording it today. I don't know if it'll actually get posted up today, but either tonight here in a couple hours or tomorrow. We are doing it in all respects to the King of the Monsters, Godzilla. So what we got here is Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters, Melee on GameCube. I don't remember which was the first of the fighting games that were on the new gen consoles, but I did have a few of them. I didn't get the last one though. I think that was the one that was on the Wii, or maybe it was the PlayStation. I think was the last one that got released. But I had two different versions, this one and then also the Xbox version. Both which I pretty much beat and unlocked everything that was available in those games. Unfortunately, I don't have my memory stick. Otherwise, I'd be able to, show you all the extra stuff that you can get in these games that they're unlocking it. I think the main character on this game is Orga. I forget who you have to beat or whatnot, but you're pretty standard fighting game, button masher, whatever you want to call it. Not too much to talk about. I just wanted to do something special for the new movie coming out, because I am a really big fan of Godzilla in every way. Ever since I've been a kid, I've been watching Godzilla movies, and back when it was hard to be a Godzilla fan. Now it's a little bit easier with the internet and being able to, people got it on Hulu and all that other shit for free. Back in the day, if you were a monster movie fan, or maybe not even just the Godzilla fan, but fan of any of that shit from Toho or whatnot, it was extremely hard to catch those movies, because they would always, it's funny now, but I'd always check the TV guides every week to see which ones were coming on, and then when they would come on, usually really late at night or early in the mornings on the weekends, I would record them so I had them for viewing later. So, and even then too, to find the movies, you go to a video store, you see which ones they have, and you try to get them, or then even that, and then you try to find a store that's selling them so you can have them in your collection, which is even harder back in the day, because you couldn't just order shit like you can on the internet now and go on and put it in your shopping cart and be done with it. You had to go around and find these damn movies, and that was pretty much my obsession as a child. So some of them I had the cassettes, some of them I had to record off TV, whatnot. It was definitely a struggle to be a fan of Godzilla, like I said. But it's a great series. It's a great everything, great kid show, adult show. I don't know. It's something nostalgic about the whole situations, and I've got multiple figurines of Godzilla, collectibles, toys, shit like that. And now the only ones I would say that I didn't really get into until I was an adult, and I've kind of watched, I haven't watched all of them, was the original series, the older ones from the I guess 70s, maybe even 60s, all the way up to maybe around the Godzilla 1985 years. Most of that series I've seen, or I saw when I was a kid. Smog Monster, Megalon, Mega Godzilla, stuff like that. King Ghidorah. But after that, I don't know if it was harder to find those movies, the ones that were remade, or what. The only one I can think of the past, the newer era that came out, was Godzilla 1985. And unfortunately, I was not, even though it was released in theaters in the U.S., I was not old enough to go see it at the time. I was 3. So I hadn't started getting into Godzilla until I was like 4 or 5. So I got to see that after the fact. And that's still, everyone has their own favorite Godzilla movies, I guess, if you're into Godzilla. But mine is Godzilla 1985. Some people complained about the way it looked, and it looked a little campy, or because they used a lot different, like robotic or animatronic type shit on them. But I think a lot of the shots and the story and everything, despite being overdubbed, are really good. And I think it kind of paved the way for other Godzilla movies after that, and kind of reinvigorate the series. And I think the next one after Godzilla 1985 was Godzilla vs. Biollante, and then they went in they kind of redid most of the other old ones, Mothra, Rodan. So it's kind of like a remake and a retelling of the stories after that. So, but yeah, that's my favorite. And to this day, I still have a couple of my cassettes on Godzilla, just because it's easier to have the cassette than it is to find the DVDs. So, but yeah. And the add-on to that, I guess, is to show you how much of a fan I am of Godzilla. The from my childhood, of the 50 games that I had as a kid being like pre-16, I suppose, of the Nintendo games that I had, the only box that I have remaining from that time of the games that I got, because I got them all brand new, I didn't get any of them used or anything, was Godzilla on NES. And a lot of people criticize that game about the gameplay sucking or lacking or whatever, but I don't see it. I mean, being a fan of Godzilla, it's still one of my favorite games, and every once in a while I'll put it in and play it. It's like a 2 or 3 hour game. If you're just gonna play it casually, you might be able to run it in like an hour if you were really booking it and trying to make it through it. But I still think it's fun. I think it has value. I don't think it's quite as bad as everyone plays it out to be. Now, Godzilla 2, I'm going to be with you all on that for the NES. Definitely not anything real fun, or it could be anything. It doesn't have to even be a Godzilla game, so that's the problem with that. But yes, that's the only box art that I still have. It's not in the best condition, but I do have it. So, and then on top of that, I'm also a fan, which some people are not, of Super Godzilla, the one they made for Super Nintendo. And even though that's kind of like I don't know, that's like a mixture of styles between the NES one and the first NES one and the second NES one, I guess. They tried to marry them together, so to speak. It's definitely better than the Godzilla 2 on NES. It's a little different, it's a little slower, not quite as fun, action-packed, but I mean, I still thought it was a good game when I played it. And same thing with that, I've played it a couple times since and beaten it. Every once in a while I'll put it in. I still have my original copy, so I like that game. I don't see what everyone's big deal with either of them in. But then again, if you're not a fan of the series of Godzilla, then you're probably not gonna have like enjoyment. But that's just with anything. But all right, I guess enough rambling about that shit. But I guess I'll finish up and say one more thing. Godzilla. This is opening weekend for Godzilla. I'm planning to go see this movie in a couple hours after I finish this commentary and upload this video for the YouTube audience. I strongly suggest fans, never heard of him, kids, anybody, go check this movie out. I've been reading a lot of solid reviews about this movie. It sounds like it's going to be really, really good. Kind of wash the taste out of your mouth of the Godzilla 1998 movie. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that movie at all. I mean, it's definitely a fun movie, but I don't think it's a Godzilla movie. And it's kind of bad when even Toho tried to distance themselves from that movie and say that it didn't happen or it really wasn't Godzilla. So, but I mean, it has a place, the 98 one, but not I don't think to be enough to truly be in the Godzilla timeline. But Godzilla 2000 wasn't bad. I got to see that in the theater, and I want to say I was 18, 17 when that movie came, or when I got to see it in theaters, and that was a big thrill for me because you're growing up as a kid. Godzilla is not a mainstream type of movies. It's hard. You're not ever really going to see him on the big screen, and to me that's where movies you get the best feel, the best excitement out of a movie is being in the theater, being with other people, big screen, loud sound, and you hear the effects of Godzilla stomping through, destroying shit, the music, all that. That was perfect. The Godzilla 2000 wasn't the world's best movie of the series. It was just okay, but it was still really cool to watch it. But go see this new one. I think it's going to be really, really good. They're talking about it as this could as this being a launching pad for more Godzillas, or even maybe inspire more movies like monster type movies, and if zombie movies and all the other fucking vampire movies and all that bullshit has a room in today's cinema and makes lots of money. Why can't monster movies make a big comeback? So, like I said, go there, watch it, support the movies, and maybe they'll make some more. Maybe not even just more Godzilla. Maybe they'll just make more movies, monster movies. Period. So I'm excited about it. But back to the game now. As in accordance with beat this game today, this is kind of like a special episode. Normally I probably wouldn't pick this game to be an episode because, the skill level to do this kind of game. This is not meant. They didn't make this game and try to exclude anyone, so it's not a super hard game. It's just like any other fighting game, like Mortal Kombat or Killer Instinct. There is a kind of like an adventure or story mode that you go through, and it's kind of unique to each character a little bit. And you fight 6, I don't know how many guys. I think it's like 6 guys here, and then you fight the main boss, and then that's it. And if you beat him with everybody, you'll unlock different characters that you can play. I think you get 4 characters to start off on, so it's pretty basic. Basic enough even that when the game starts, when you first turn it on, the default settings for this game are on easy, because that's what it's about. The fun about this game is picking up the buildings, throwing them, the music, the different little things you can get in the match. There's no real complex combos or anything that I know of. Each player has his pluses or minuses. Some are more powerful. Some of the bigger guys move slower than the other ones. Godzilla's like a mid-range character. He's not the fastest and he's not the slowest. And they all have their own power-ups. So it's a lot of attention to detail was taken in this game to be true to the original characters that they're representing. So, like I said, in that sense, it's supposed to be a fun game. I don't think anyone ever sat down and said, I want to play Godzilla Destroys All Monsters is one of the hardest games ever. It's not going to make a list like that. But to be on that other side, too, what I'm getting at is I have put this game on hard to kind of give it to... That way it deserves to be on an episode on this list for Beat This Game Today. Easy is exactly what it is. You can play it, pretty much beat it, get the feel of it. It's like practice. Normal, not too bad. Now, with any other game, when you got 3 settings, and I don't think there's an extra hard. Some levels unlock that, or some games do, but I don't think this has it. Hard on this game is exactly what it usually is in all games. There's no more enemies or shit that they can throw at you, but the AI gets increasingly better, faster, cheaper, and the biggest problem you're going to have on hard level is the damage that you inflict on them is not equal to damage that they inflict on you, meaning their hits equal a lot more than what your hits do. So, that being said, you've got to play a little conservative. You can't go toe-to-toe with these guys and expect to win, because they'll get a lot more hits in than you, and they'll keep you down, they'll keep you against the wall, they'll be cheap. Their point is to not let you win. And that's the point of, I guess, on hard levels, to test your skill. So you'll see a lot of here. The first 2 guys, you can kind of... You don't have to be so cheap. You can pretty much trade punch blow for blow. Just be smart about it. But once you start getting to where we are now, Destroyer, and then like Rodan, Destroyer, and King Ghidorah, the Mecha King Ghidorah, and then obviously the last boss, Mecha Godzilla. You've got to take advantage of every damn thing you can get. Now, that being said, there are some items in this game that are going to help you. The levels are extremely big, so they give you a chance to dodge some attacks and whatnot, depending on what the distance or the ranges of the attacks that they're trying to give on you. There are boundaries, as marked by the green lines right there. If you hit those, it hurts you, kind of like getting electrocuted. But the items that come up and randomly spawn over the map can be the difference between winning and losing. You have the regular things that affect your primary weapon. Each character has their own, which would be the lightning bolts here. It will charge up your meter. You can see it's a yellow meter underneath your name over there. It lets you know how much energy you have to use your primary attack or special attack. Godzilla's being the fire. Rodan's being the fire eyes, I think, and Anguirus, I don't remember exactly what his is, but in Megalon he gets his lasers or his lightning. So You get the lightning bolt, essentially gives you a full power up or a full level up of that, so it fills the whole meter, which is something you want to get. The other ones that you get, it looks like a blue orb with different colors emanating from it. That is rage mode. I can't remember exactly how you do it. I never used it in this one, but rage mode effectively increases the damage done by your regular hits, and you can either choose it to use it as like that, like a bonus damage for maybe like a minute, or you can use it all at once to do a super attack. That's like a one-time power attack that drains that entire meter. I don't ever use it in this one, but because I prefer to use it to increase my hit damage, because then you can just go after him for 30 minutes to a minute, and it seems to do a little more damage than just a one-time thing. But it's up to you on how you want to use it. And so those are the two ones that are going to help you out primarily as you're playing the game throughout. Now there is another one that you're going to want to, or two more that you're going to want to get that can really help turn the tide or hurt you. One being, I don't think we've seen it yet in here. One of them being Mothra. It's a purple butterfly type of situation looking, or I guess it's Mothra. And when you see that on the screen, you need to run as fast as you can to get this thing. Essentially what it is it's a strike. Mothra will strafe multiple times and fire on whoever collects that particular that orb. So if you get it, then it'll damage your enemies. If your enemy gets it, it damages you. And trust me when I say you don't want Mothra constantly kicking your ass. So don't even let them get it. Just as soon as you see it, at all costs, even if you're engaging, you're kicking their ass, just run away and get it. Now, the other ones you'll see that overall through the game, you'll see the green plus signs, which is health. Another one of those things that doesn't give you a lot of health, but in a game when you get closer to the end and the guys get tougher, you're going to need every bit of health. And not only that, even if you have full health and you're like, why should I go and get that? You want to get it because you don't want your enemy to get it. Now, this is we're at the last level already. This is the toughest out of all the levels, and it's kind of interesting with this. Mega Godzilla is extremely powerful. He has, not only does he have his regular charge in yellow there, he also has some lock-on, I think there are charge or electrocution missiles that come out of his front. So it's really hard just to even inflict damage on this bitch. He's fast and whatnot. Now, what's unique about this level out of all the other ones, you'll see we're in a circle here, and you see you've got the power grids around us now. One-on-one in this circle, you're not, it's pretty hard to take them out because there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide, there's no buildings to throw, there's no nothing. You're just toe-to-toe. And this is not where you really want to be, especially on hard mode. You want to be able to move around and not get trapped with him, because that Godzilla has a lot of fucking weapons and moves he can do. So, what you want to do at the first chance that you get, you want to take down these towers. You'll see you're surrounded by these lights, or I don't know, maybe they're the force field towers, whatever. You want to take those out. Now, the best way to kind of do them is to throw Mega Godzilla into them, or possibly if you get thrown into them, and take those down like we just did right there. Now that they're down, the level is the same size as all the rest of them. And out here, out past that circle boundary, is all the regular stuff that you'll see over the level, with the exception of Mothra. I don't think you can get Mothra in this level. So, plenty of buildings to throw, plenty of places to cover, health spawns, special spawns, and rage mode spawns. So definitely want to take advantage of this. Now, the best way to take Mega Godzilla is to try to keep him at a distance, especially on hard mode. Like I said, you don't want to get him on your ass. Throw the buildings at him, hit him, and when he falls on the building, it gives you enough time to charge up your fire breath at full strength and hit him with it, and that will take away the most damage. And also on top of that too, I think this works for just about all the enemies, except for Anguirus. Most of all these enemies have some sort of long distance firing special move. He's got the eyes. Gigan can shoot shit in. All he'll do is like a little spin. They're special. If you're as far away from them as possible, they can't hit you. But as Godzilla on the other hand, he at the same distance he can hit them. So it's good to kind of let Mega Godzilla, like I'm kind of doing here, I'm kind of letting him just get close enough in where he gets frustrated and starts shooting his special attack at me, essentially draining his meter, and then you can kind of get close in on him and not have to worry about getting him shooting that shit at you. And also too, this kind of strategy here will give you some time to get some green power-ups or get some of the other rage power-ups or the special power-up. Now, like I said, some people might say this is the bitch move or something, but I've tried to beat him regularly, and it's just not fair. So, you know, he's gonna be cheap and fly around and do all this shit. You might as well get him back a little bit. But anyways, I guess other stuff I can mention about this real quick. That's about the extent of it right here. You're just gonna see me do this here for another couple minutes until I beat it. But there were a few other versions of this game. Like I said, I had one on Xbox. There was also one on a couple on PlayStation 2, and I think there was one more finally on the Wii. The sequels of these, they definitely made a couple of them. They incorporated different characters every game, or little different storylines and whatnot, which was cool. Like Jaguar was always a cool character. I don't think I ever owned the version that he was in, but I thought that was a cool idea. And this one, one of the special unlocked characters is Orga. I'm trying to think, there were some other ones. As you play through these games, you can unlock different Godzillas. This is Godzilla's 90s. Then they had Godzilla 2000. What else did they have? I think in one of them you can play as Mothra, I believe. I believe she's not. There's one game where you can actually play as her rather than her being a helper on a stage. So yeah, it's a good series. And there was even one that was made for Super Nintendo, well, the Super Famicom rather. That was like Turtles Tournament Fighter, but with Godzilla. That never got released here, which the nerd mentioned in his Godzilla episode. I've never played it, but it looked pretty cool. But I think this is the definitive style that out of all the Godzilla games that they made. I think this is it right here. I think this is where I get the final blow. Yeah, there it is. Took him down. So there you go. Godzilla on hard mode right there. There's not really, you don't really get much for winning this game, but like I said, I don't think that was really the point. I used to play it a lot against friends and stuff. They come over and play two-player versus it. It's fun.
Our ultimate weapon and escape. Our campaign to seize your planet has been thwarted. For now. But we will return, Earthlings. We will return.
Will you return now? So we're just going to put my name in there real quick for the purposes of the high score. Beat it on difficult, or difficulty level hard. Funny this is made by Atari, but I don't know. And this is, by the way, this is always fun too. I like the fact that they put this music in here at the end. This is one of my favorite Godzilla themes. There's a bunch of them that are over the life of the series that were really good as well, but this one's the one that I associate with Godzilla the most. And like I said, brings back a lot of nostalgic type shit for me. But that's about it for this one. Episode 11, Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters Melee. As soon as I finish recording this here, I'm probably going to mix it down or export it and get it ready to go up on YouTube. And then I'll be heading off to go see the new movie in the theaters tonight, Thursday, May 15, 2014. And I suggest you all do the same. And also to celebrate the release of this movie, I'm going to try to do some more, depending on what time I have over the next week. Beat this game today. What do you call it? Dedications, so to speak. I was planning on doing the NES version first, but that's a little bit longer, and I ran out of time today. And so I decided to do Destroy All Monsters Melee. I thought that might be fun. So Godzilla NES is a bit longer, so it's going to take a little more time. I think at the best you can do it is like an hour 30, so it's a little longer game. I'll try to get that done over the weekend. And then I'm actually going to try to do Super Godzilla too. I haven't played that game in a while, but and it's a little slower, but there's a little more to talk about as far as strategy playing Godzilla on NES and Super Godzilla. So be looking for those games to be coming out. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned for later episodes. And in about 2 weeks, at the beginning of June, you're going to see episode 2 of the Arthur X Jason Show. Remember, rate, comment, and subscribe.